Okay, everybody, we're about to begin. It is now 7 p.m. Good evening. Call to order the Borough of River Edge Mayor and Council regular meeting, agenda September 21st, 2020, 7 p.m. Can we please stand for a moment of silent reflection where we think about those who have passed from COVID. We think about our Chief Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who has passed, and all those who are suffering or have been lost. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
of America
and to the republic
for which it
stands,
stands,
one
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty
and
and justice
for all.
Okay. Now, if this was my classroom, we would now sing the school alma mater, but this isn't. We don't have a town alma mater yet. Okay, so statement of compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act. This meeting complies with the Open Public Meeting Act by notification on December 20th of this location, date, and time to the Ridgewood News and the Record, and by posting of the same on the Municipal Bulletin Board and the Borough website, and filing a notice of the same with the Municipal Clerk. Roll call, because of we are away. I'm going to take care of this. It's a little bit easier. Council President Canigo.
Here.
Councilwoman Bastide.
Here.
Councilman Joe Gordier.
Here.
Councilwoman Michelle Kaufman.
Here.
Councilwoman Lisa Montesano Cohen.
Here.
Councilwoman Indira Kinsella.
Here.
Okay, let the record also show that our business administrator, Raymond Porio, and our borough attorney, Tom Sarlo, are present, as well as some members of the audience who we will be addressing in a moment. Could we first go to the minutes? It is item number 5, approve the minutes of the mayor and council regular meeting of September 8th, 2020. Could I have it moved by Councilwoman Indira Kinsella and second by Councilwoman Montesano Cohen?
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Council President Canigo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastide.
Yes.
Councilman Gordier.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
All right, so we're moving right through our agenda. We're up to item number 6, proclamations and awards, certificate of recognition for the Little League U10 championship team. Now, was it you, Councilwoman Bastide, or you, Councilman Gordier, or was it who on the council brought this to our attention? I think this is a great idea. Maybe it was Council President Canigo?
It was.
Yes, it was.
So, Councilman Canigo, I would love it if you, introduced this item, and that we could, so that we might be able to recognize our champions.
Absolutely. It is my honor. These young men are young men that I've known for quite a while. I've coached most of them in basketball, a couple of them even in their younger days in Little League. I can say they are all fine young men. They are not only athletes, but they are student athletes. To a man, they are polite, they are intelligent, they are engaging, and now they're champions as well. So congratulations. You guys do River Edge proud, and I am proud to know each and every one of you.
Thank you, Council President Canigo. I also believe we have their coach, Rob. Were you coaching them?
I am the president of the league. I do know their coaches very well.
Could you name their coaches, please?
They're coached by Kevin Lepresti,
Okay.
and he should be right. Charlie, is he there? There he is.
Hello, Coach.
Hello, Coach.
Hey, thank you guys.
Who
Thanks
else?
for having us.
Oh, we're thrilled. We're thrilled. And who else is there,
And
Coach?
Jim Blackman, John, his dad there.
Okay.
He's behind me and someone on the phone.
I love the honesty of a 10-year-old.
All right, I'd like to congratulate the coaches before I congratulate the members. Thank you, Kevin Lepresti and Jim Blackman, for coaching our champions. So without further ado, we have a certificate of award. I'm going to put it up to the camera so you can see. And the mayor and council of the Borough of River Edge are proud to present this certificate to, and I'll say each student's name, each player's name, in recognition of the Little League U10 team for winning the 2020 Summer NEBAS Championship. Council, this is, so I, as Mayor Thomas Papaleo, Council President Dario Canigo, Councilwoman Ellen Bastide, Councilman Joseph Gordier, Councilwoman Michelle Kaufman, Councilwoman Indira Kinsella, and Councilwoman Lisa Montesano Cara congratulate you, boys. And so let me name our players, our members. We congratulate John Blackman. We congratulate Jeffrey Zhang. We congratulate Charles Lopresti. We congratulate Connor Gastman. We congratulate Ryan Giampetro. We congratulate Brendan Komar. We congratulate Ian Rosick. We congratulate Lucia Koleema.
Luca.
We congratulate Luca. Thank you. I'm
Luca.
sorry. Okay. We congratulate Justin Kim. We congratulate Chris Nader. We congratulate Nico Petrosino. Gentlemen, congratulations and all the best. We have your certificates. I will be giving them to the clerk, and the clerk will be reaching out to the coaches to make sure you get them. And on behalf of the council and myself and the Borough of River Edge, well done. Would either of the coaches like to say a quick word? So Kevin or Jim? Your mic is,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I just want to say, really proud of the boys this summer. They practice very hard. They play hard every game. It's an honor to coach them. And we're hoping to do the same in the fall.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Jim, are you there? Would you like to say a word or so?
He left.
Well, boys, you do not need to stay for the rest of the meeting. You are certainly welcome to do that if you're a Boy Scout and you're trying to get your civics badge. But other than that, we are proud of you. You will be putting this up on YouTube, and we will also be putting this on. But before you go, just so your faces show up, I'd like each boy to say hello quickly so that your face will appear on the YouTube, okay? Michelle, are we are we doing grid or are we doing individual?
As they speak, their name will take full screen. So
Great, so let's start. John, just say hi.
Hi.
Charles?
Hello.
Chris?
Hi.
Let me see, Connor?
Hi.
Jeffrey?
Hello.
Ryan?
Hi.
Luca?
Hey.
And my next door neighbor, Brandon.
Hello there.
All right, guys.
Did we
thanks for
miss
doing that.
Nico?
Did we miss Nico? If we did, I apologize. Nico?
And Justin, perhaps.
Hi.
Oh, I missed them. I'm sorry. Nico, go ahead. Say it one more time.
Hi.
Justin?
Hi.
Jeffrey?
Oh, you said my name. Hello.
I think we got everybody. Did we miss anyone?
No, we didn't.
Good.
All right,
So
good.
we wish you all well. And as I said, we will hand the certificates to the clerk and she'll get them to you. Congratulations, everyone.
Congrats, boys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's do it again in the fall.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Before I move to open public comments on the agenda, I want to remind each and every member of the council that if they haven't done so yet, please sign the audit certification form that the clerk is holding for you. It's important that we process that as a state requirement. All right, we are now to open public comments on any item in the agenda. Could I have Councilwoman Kaufman and Councilman Gaudier move and second opening to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstained? So now we're going to surrender the meeting to Councilwoman Kaufman, our moderator, and comments on the agenda or questions on the agenda will be entertained at this time. Councilwoman Kaufman.
I don't think there are any.
Well, we'll give it 30 seconds nevertheless.
Sure. If anyone has a question, raise your hand or just put it in the chat box.
Or if you're on phone, *9. Seeing none, could I have Councilwoman Bastide and Council President Canigo move and second to close to the public?
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed or abstain? Hearing none, we'll move on. Item number 9, there are monthly reports on which the public can get from the clerk, one from the library board from September of 2020, one from the land use board also, but that's the September 2nd one. First readings of ordinances is, oh, my apology. The clerk has reminded me I jumped over appointments and personnel change. Okay, could I have Council President Canigo and Councilwoman Bastide move in second, approve the salary increase of Joseph Zemenes, police officer, from an annual salary of $126,578.14 to $129,012.33 due to an increase in longevity from 4% to 6%, effective September 16th, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. This requires a roll call. Council President Canigo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastide.
Yes.
Councilman Gaudier.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
Okay. So now we are up to first reading of an ordinance. We have two ordinances. Ordinance 2018, an ordinance repealing and replacing Chapter 362, Article 3, entitled Street Excavations of the Revised General Ordinance of the Borough of River Edge, County of Bergen, and the State of New Jersey. Let's move and seconded, and then we'll ask our Borough Administrator just to speak to this. But I have Councilman Gaudier move and Councilwoman Kaufman second.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Porio, could you please speak to ordinance 20-18?
Yes, Mayor, 20-18 and 20-19 actually go hand in hand with each other. One of our ordinances in our code book is that relates to street openings has not been updated in many, many years. At the advice of our borough engineer and public works director, they wanted to take a look at it and make it into more of a reality of what the current practice is. I think if you review the ordinance, you'll see a very, very detailed ordinance that pretty much encompasses everything that it relates to street opening, along with the fees for the opening permits. So it's really a whole overhaul of that ordinance, which is one of the reasons why you guys are, or at least why it's on the table to repeal the ordinance rather than just to modify. We're going to repeal it and replace it with this new section.
Okay, so 2018 will repeal and 2019 will replace, correct?
Correct.
But just for the public's edification, we must move each of them separately. So we will do so now. Is there any debate or comment by members of the council before we go to a vote? All right, it's been moved and seconded. So now we go for a roll call. Council President Kanigo.
This is on the first one, correct? The 13? I'm sorry,
This
the 18?
is 20-18, yes.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastide.
Yes.
Councilman Gordier.
Yes.
Councilman Kaufman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
All right, that has been approved. There was no public comment because it's a first reading. We're moving to ordinance 20-19, an ordinance amending and supplementing the code of the Borough of River Edge, 1998, chapter 206, fees. Could, in order for us to discuss it, it needs to be moved and seconded. Could Councilwoman Montesano Cohen move it and Councilwoman Kinsella second it?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Our borough administrator has already introduced the purpose of this ordinance. Is there any member of council who would like to enter into debate or comment before we go to a vote? Hearing none, I will call the roll. Council President Kanigo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastide.
Yes.
Councilman Gordier.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
Okay, it's been unanimously approved. That is our first readings. Now we go to our second readings and hearing. Now for the public's edification, we will move this twice. We will first move it to open to the public, and that will be a motion, a second, and then a roll call. And then we will move it for approval. That'll be a motion, a second, and then I'll open to the council for comments or debate if there is any, and then I will call a roll call. Okay, ordinance 20-13. Ordinance amending Chapter 71, Article 3 of the Code of the Borough of River Edge entitled Police Department Establishing Promotional Procedures for the Rank of Lieutenant. Could I have Councilwoman Kinsella move and Councilwoman Montesano Cohen second?
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to open to the public. Could we now have a roll call? Council President Kanigo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastide.
Yes.
Councilman Gordier.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
Okay, I'll surrender the meeting to our moderator, Councilwoman Kaufman, for anyone who wishes to speak to this.
So if anyone would like to ask a question, just type it in the chat box or raise your hand and I will allow you to speak. I don't think we have any questions.
Okay, so could Councilwoman Kaufman move and Councilman Gordier second to close to the public?
So moved.
Second.
Council President Kanigo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastide.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gordier. Councilman
Yes.
Gordier. Sorry. Councilwoman Kaufman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
Okay, it's been closed to the public. Now we need to move the body of the motion. So if I could, Councilwoman Bastide and move, and Council President Kanigo second to approve the ordinance.
I actually had a comment to make first.
That would be after you move and second it.
Okay, very good. Then I'll move it.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. It's now open for debate, comment, or inquiry.
May I make a comment, Mayor?
Yes, we
Great.
recognize Councilwoman Bastide.
Thanks. At our most recent meeting, Council President Kanigo offered an amendment regarding the disciplinary actions, and I'd hope for the benefit of the council and the public, you could just elaborate with an explanation.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I was about to comment as well. Thank you, Councilwoman. At the last meeting, we did make minor amendments. the councilwoman brought to my attention that in my haste in making the amendment, I didn't explain exactly how the amendment came about. Mayor Papaleo and I met with representatives from the PBA, and they had brought up several concerns about the ordinance to our attention. We went over the concerns with them. We explained some of the reasons why we did certain things, and they seemed satisfied with some. But there were a couple of the concerns which dealt with the changes that we made that we brought to the attention of our legal counsel, and asked whether it would be possible to make the changes that we did, in fact, make to the chief ordinance as well as the lieutenant and sergeant ordinance. I also called the chief, Tom Caridi, and I spoke with him about the proposed changes. Chief Caridi did not have any objections to the changes, and since they were deemed minor by our legal counsel, that's the reason why I introduced the changes.
Could I have our borough attorney, Mr. Sarlo, just, you had reiterated last time, you had stated last time, if you could just reiterate that these are minor changes and therefore acceptable at this time.
Yeah, that's correct. The changes that are, that we made between the first, the introduction and then now are minor. One was a typographical error. The other, we are not adding anything to the ordinance. We are actually removing and making it a lesser impact to the ordinance. So for those reasons, they're minor changes in my opinion.
Very good. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. We have, is there any other comment or debate? Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Council President Canigo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastide.
Yes.
Councilman Gaudier.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
All right, so it has now been unanimously approved. We move to ordinance 20-14, an ordinance amending Chapter 71, Article 3 of the Code of the Borough of River Edge entitled Police Department Establishing Promotional Procedure for the Rank of Sergeant. Could I have Councilman Gaudier move and Councilwoman Kaufman second? This is to open to the public.
So moved.
Second.
Council President Canigo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastide.
Yes.
Councilman Gaudier.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
We're now open to the public, and I surrender the meeting to Councilwoman Kaufman.
So again, if any questions, just type them in the chat box or raise your hand and I will allow you to speak. I don't think there are any.
All right, then I'm going to ask Councilwoman Montesano Cohen, Councilwoman, and Councilwoman Kinsella to move and second for adoption of ordinance 20-14.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. It is now on the floor. Does any member of council wish to make a comment or enter into debate?
The same comments I made earlier apply to this one as well.
Excellent. Seeing none, we move to a roll call. Council President Canigo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastide.
Yes.
Councilman Gaudier.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
It has been unanimously approved. Ordinance, we move to ordinance 20-15, an ordinance to adopt a redevelopment plan for the New Bridge Landing Station redevelopment area. This, so I would ask Councilwoman Bastide and Council President move and Council President Canigo second to open to the public for this ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Council President Canigo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastide.
Yes.
Councilman Gaudier.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
We are now open to the public. I surrender the meeting to Councilwoman Kaufman.
Once again, any questions, just type them in the chat box or raise your hand.
Mayor?
Yes. We would not do comments yet, Mr. Porio. This is open to the public. We would, comments according to Robert's rules would occur after we move it, motion for adoption.
I see no questions.
All right, could I have, what? Yes, close to the public. Could I have Council President Canigo and Councilwoman Bastide move in second?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, this is to close to the public. Council President Canigo,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastide,
Yes.
Councilman Gaudier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
Okay, to open it for comment or debate, we need to have it moved. Could I have Councilman Gaudier move and Councilwoman Kaufman second to open for debate, comment, and questions?
So moved.
Second.
Could I have Mr. Porio now, if you could you address any comments to what we're doing here for the public's edification?
Yes, Mayor. On ordinance C or item number C and D, ordinance number 20-15 and 20-16, I would ask that an amendment be added to each one of those. It was necessary to add an amendment or to amend both of the redevelopment plans due to a typo that was found in the plan by our town planner. The redevelopment plan calls for a 15% set aside when the court had actually handed down a 20% set aside. So really in 15 and 16, I'd ask that council, and perhaps the council president as being the liaison to the planning board, move that amendment.
Yes, so moved, Mr. Mayor.
All right, Mr. Sarlo, could you give us a response, a legal response to this action?
Yeah, I defer to redevelopment counsel, Mr. Chukowski. I conferred with him through Mr. Porio, and he was also of the opinion that these are minor changes you can introduce and adopt with these changes at the, we can introduce today with these changes now and adopt do a formal amendment and adopt the second. So he's on board with this.
Okay. So the action we're taking is therefore valid and justifiable. And we're going to, this applies to both 2015, which we are about to vote on, and 2016, which we will vote on afterwards. It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, Council President Canigo.
Yes, with the amendment. Yes.
With the amendment, yes. Councilwoman Bastide.
Yes.
Councilman Gaudier.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
Okay, that has passes unanimously. Now we're going to move for open to the public. Ordinance 20-16, ordinance to adopt a redevelopment plan for Kinderkamak Road Development Area. Could I have Councilwoman Montesano Cohen move for open to the public and Councilwoman Kinsella second?
So moved.
Second.
Council President Canigo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastide.
Yes.
Councilman Gaudier.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
Okay, I surrender the meeting to our moderator, Councilwoman Kaufman.
Again, if anyone has a question, just write it in the chat box or raise your hand and I will allow you to speak.
Okay, could I have Councilwoman Kinsella move and Councilwoman Montesano second to close to the public?
So moved.
Second.
Council President Canigo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastide.
Yes.
Councilman Gaudier.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
Okay, it is now closed to the public. We're now moving the main motion. Could I have Councilwoman Kaufman move and Councilman Gaudier second, ordinance 20-16 for first debate and then for a vote?
So moved.
Mr. Mayor, with the amendment as well.
Yes.
Yes, with the, my apology, with the amendment. Can you just say so moved again, Councilwoman?
So moved with the amendment.
And Councilman Gaudier?
Second.
Thank you. Okay, it's now open for comment, debate, or inquiry. Is there any? Seeing none, we move to the main motion. Council President Canigo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastide.
Yes.
Councilman Gaudier.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
It is adopted unanimously. Ordinance 20-17, an ordinance amending Chapter 50 entitled Affordable House Regulations to address the requirement of the Fair Housing Act and the Affordable Housing, and the Uniform Housing Affordable Controls regarding the compliance with the borough's affordable housing obligations. Could opening to the public, could I have Councilwoman Bastide move and Council President Canigo second?
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Council President Canigo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastide.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gaudier.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman. Councilwoman Montesano Cohen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
Okay, I surrender meeting to Councilwoman Kaufman, our moderator.
Once again, any questions, type them in the chat box or raise your hand and I will allow you to speak.
Okay, let's close to the public now. Could I have Council President Canigo move and Councilwoman Bastide second to close to the public?
So moved.
Second.
Council President Canigo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastide.
Yes.
Councilman Gaudier.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
It has been closed to the public. Now we are going to move for debate, discussion, and final vote. Could I have Councilman Gaudier move and Councilwoman Kaufman second, ordinance 20-17 for a final vote and perhaps a debate or discussion or inquiry?
So moved.
Second.
Council President Canigo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastide.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
Okay, it is now,
Joe. I think you
did I
missed
skip
Joe.
some?
Joe.
Oh, I'll have Joe, Councilman Gaudier.
Yes.
All right, is there any debate, comment, or inquiry? Mr. Porio, you had referred to 15-16. Is there anything for the public's education that we need to share for 17, perhaps not?
No, Mayor.
Very good, Mr. Porio, thank you. All right, it's been moved and seconded. It's up for a final vote. Council President Canigo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastide.
Yes.
Councilman Gaudier.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen.
Yes.
Yeah, I made a slight mistake there. I had us vote on the motion in the second when I shouldn't have. It was a slight Robert's mistake. I'm saying everybody's name so often, I think I'm just getting a little loopy. I apologize. Okay, so we are done. That was passed unanimously. We have resolutions 20-214 through 20-221. Does any member of council wish to pull out for a separate vote or debate 20-214 through 20-221? All right, let's move and second it and then have a vote. Could I have Councilwoman Kaufman move and Councilwoman Kinsella second.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Council President Kanigo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastide.
Yes.
Councilman Gordiero.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Monticello Cohen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
Okay, so that has been approved. Could I have payments of the bills 20-222 moved by our finance chair and seconded by a member of the council?
At a regular meeting of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of River Edge, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, held on September 21, 2020, be it resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of River Edge approve the following expenditures. Current fund account, $222,180.27. Capital fund account, $46,195. Trust other account, $5,989.50. Payroll account, $765. Developers escrow account, $500. Recreation account, $899.16. So moved.
Could we have a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, Council President Kanigo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastide.
Yes.
Councilman Gordiero.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Monticello Cohen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
Okay, we have now some new business. It's actually old business at this point. Let's first start with item number 14A, repair of a storm damaged sidewalks. I open this to the council for any member of council who would like to discuss this. I believe we tabled it because we were hoping Mr. Porio could give us some more information on it, which he did. So would any member of council wish to open the discussion?
Perhaps we can start with Mr. Porio giving just a brief overview for us so that the viewing public can understand what it is that we're doing.
Excellent. Mr. Porio, would you mind?
Sure, Mayor. During the last storm, the last named storm that we had in town, we had several slabs. I believe it was 31 slabs that need to be replaced due to the fact that they were uprooted by borough trees, along with another 4 or 5 slabs that need to be readjusted. There was some debate at the last council meeting whether the council is responsible for doing that, or should that be the responsibility of the homeowner. That ultimately is a policy decision for you all to make. I sent you a memo regarding that topic. However, the first estimate that we got was $10,500 to replace all of the slabs. In addition, we currently are out on the street for our ADA sidewalk repairs, and we've added that into as one of the alternate items into the bid document, hoping to be able to get a better price than that $10,500. If you so choose, you could award that at the next council meeting. Again, this is really all a council prerogative of however they want to handle, however you all want to handle it. We've given you 2 options. We have a quote right now for $10,500, and we have as I said, as an alternate, which we are opening up that bid very shortly, and you would be able to vote on that, or would be at least be able to see the numbers shortly, and then you would be able to vote on that at the next council meeting.
Okay.
So, Mr. Mayor, in thinking about this, and I hate to give Mr. Poirier some more work, but I'd like the council to consider this. I've been doing a lot of walking in town lately for my health, and I'm racking up the miles. And I stay in River Edge mostly, and I walk around, and I see that there's much more than these 31 slabs that have been lifted. There's a lot of other slabs that were lifted in other storms, when trees grew, and so forth. Thinking about this further, I thought to myself, well, with economies of scale, we might be able to do a little more for the town, and not necessarily that we're going to be paying for it, but perhaps we can offer town homeowners the opportunity to let us know that their sidewalk is also lifted, and to join in with this fixing of sidewalks at a lower cost than they would if they had to contact one of these companies individually. I don't know if I'm explaining myself as well, but separate and apart from the 31 slabs or 36, 37, however many they were that were damaged in the last storm, there's a lot more that needs to be fixed. And maybe this is a good opportunity for us to come up with a plan that gives the homeowner a chance to get these sidewalks in front of their homes fixed for less than they would otherwise have to pay. I'll open it up to the council for thoughts, discussions.
Yeah.
I,
So,
one,
go ahead, Councilman Goodyear.
I was going to say, I for one think that's an excellent suggestion. If we could give people the opportunity to fix their slabs at a reduced price, possibly, if they chose to take that opportunity, I think we should definitely offer that option.
So I don't know if every member of council would like to discuss this. I think it's a great idea, but I think the council needs to be aware that there is a concern here. If we were to move in that direction, we probably wouldn't be able to begin work on those slabs that are just, because we'd be doing it as a package, for at least a month or maybe two. Mr. Porio, I think this is a great idea. I just don't know if we bundle it together, whether we can address the slabs that have been brought up by the storm in a timely fashion. Mr. Porio, if you could am I correct or incorrect on that? What would be the probable timeline if from getting a bid to then informing the general public, getting responses from the general public, creating a list, and then sending the contractor out to do the work?
Mayor, you're correct in that it certainly would go ahead and take some time, and then we'd also, I think there's some procurement methods that we'd have to also work through as well too. I'm not saying that it can't be done. It certainly could be done. I believe the borough years ago used to have a program along something along these lines, from talking to Jason and Alan. It may be something that you want to implement for next year. However, I think one way or another, I think you do need relatively soon to make a decision on what it is that you want to do with these 31 slabs, these 36 slabs. But the council president's right. There's a whole host of slabs around town because of trees, because of various different reasons that the slabs have been lifted. Matter of fact, just as an aside, that's actually how my son broke his arm. Not in River Edge, but he was skateboarding, and he hit a slab that was up 2 or 3 inches, and needless to say, the skateboard stopped and he didn't. So I have some empathy certainly there, but I do think it is important one way or another, because you do have many slabs that are significantly damaged right now of the 31. That council needs to make a decision. Either they want to move forward with doing that component of it, and if they don't want to fund that, then that's something that we need to start dealing with the homeowner on requiring them to go ahead and get moving on it.
Mayor?
Yes, Councilwoman Bastide.
Thank you. I just had a question for Mr. Sarlo. Are there any considerations with ordinances that are on the books today that we should consider while we're deliberating this regarding sidewalks, trees?
Not for the, and I agree with Mr. Porio. I think you should just move these 31 slabs if you want to go forward with that and get this project done, because you have to find out the funding method of how you would, usually when you do a joint venture, you do streets, and the school wants to do their parking lot. It's very easy. They just they jump on board in the bid and they reimburse the town. Here, it wouldn't be that easy. The homeowner's probably not going to be writing a check to the town. They'd either be getting an assessment on their taxes for the work, or maybe somehow paying the contractor. So for this project, I would agree. I think then you can have some time, flush it out, identify it, open it up to all the homeowners, and put some type of policy in place. But to answer your question directly, you do have some concerns, and this has been concerns for the last 7 years since I've been sitting with you guys, is homeowners that potentially want to replace their sidewalks that are uprooted by a tree root, now needs the approval of the shade tree. They need to, most of these that are uprooted, you're either going to need to take the tree down or you're going to need to remove the root that may damage the tree. That needs now the approval from the shade tree. So any of these that have a root that may have to be affected would now have to somehow bring in the shade tree. So that the ordinance on the books right now is it's the homeowner responsibility to fix their sidewalks. And if the borough sends them a notice, they have 30 days to make those repairs. If they don't make those repairs, town then can go in and make the repairs and put a lien on their property. But like I said, you also now have the shade tree. So to answer your question, yes, there are some intertwining sidewalk issues regarding the shade tree and those tree roots.
Thank you.
So I could just speak a little bit to the shade tree. I was a liaison for many years, and Councilman Montsound Cohen is current. It's been my experience that when these root issues come up, the shade tree either almost always gives permission to shave the roots, or sometimes they agree the tree has to come down, and then they ask the DPW to do that, and the tree comes down. So, but it is a concern, but the shade tree has, it's been my experience, always cooperated when these issues have come up. Council President Kaniga.
How do we address the homeowner who says that my sidewalk was damaged in the last storm and now you're paying for other people's sidewalks but not ours?
I don't know if there is would ever be a satisfying way to address that. What we're saying is that in these major events, where I think it was Hurricane Sandy was the last one, where it's clear that there's so many residents, and we're mitigating some of the responsibility. That's true, but we're only doing it for these major events. We can say no. It is their responsibility. Absolutely, we don't need to do. Well, the council doesn't need to do this. I would recommend the council do this, but unless you're asking a legal question.
No, I'm just asking a policy question for us, because we may be faced with those questions as the council members, and I'd like to know, how we respond to that. But I think that you gave us a response in that this is a major storm as opposed to a more minor storm. Mm-hmm. For major storms that affect a certain segment of the population, it makes sense.
Ultimately,
you're not bound by.
Go ahead.
You're not bound by other prior administrations' decisions and policies. This is a new administration. This is something that's just now coming to this administration. And like any storm, you deal with it on a case-by-case basis. And if these are as a result of the storm, as a result of borough trees, you make that determination. It's manageable to do it in this case, like you said, in another storm, maybe hundreds of them, and it's just simply not feasible to do. So I think to answer, it's not really from a legal thing, but you're not bound by prior administration's decision.
Okay.
How much time will we lose if we decide to wait and try to bundle it in?
Months.
In terms of just going with the bid we have right now, you were mentioning bundling in.
Oh, well, like I said, we are, we're out on the street on the ADA curbs currently. I believe we're opening that up within the next 2 weeks, and then you would award that at your next council meeting. And we've already let the engineer know that depending upon where that price comes in, and if the price comes in where within our estimate, that out of anything associated with that project, that we want to address that first before we even do the curb work.
So it will be a few weeks?
Few weeks, correct.
Probably, if I'm understanding correct, 3 weeks or so, Mr. Porio, would that make sense? So essentially another month or a little less than a month.
Correct. You would award it the next council meeting. You would award the bid at the next council meeting, and then we would get the contractor going.
And is there a liability issue that we're also facing if we don't move quickly on this?
To answer the one, I'm by far no construction expert at all. I don't know how to hang a picture frame, but I know there's a certain time period. If it gets cold, you can't lay cement. I think that was always my understanding of construction. That's why you want to get it done. You look again. No, the liability rests with the homeowner. For residential sidewalks. So, you are aware, you are on notice that these are a potential, and you're in the works to move it forward. So I don't think like getting it done immediately, you're not delaying it, you're doing it as expeditious as possible. So I would say no, you're not exposed to any additional liability than you would be if somebody falls on a raised sidewalk now.
Yeah, no, I'm also concerned about the homeowners who perhaps have been waiting for us to act on this particular issue rather than they themselves going out and acting on it. If they're being exposed to greater liability, then we should certainly move quickly on it.
That's a great point.
I think it's a great idea to put it with the ADA, but I don't know how much of a savings that would be. We already have really, I think, a pretty good bid at $10,500. I mean, we could wait and, see what they say, and then we're at the next council meeting approving it. But at this point, I think it's been quite a while, and I mean, it's council's decision.
I agree. What concerns me is what I just said. If we keep putting it off, then we open up the homeowners to liability who are waiting for us to act. So we should act now on those 31 to 36 slabs. And then the ADA, we can act at the next meeting, or perhaps we can hold that off a little bit while we open up a process. We figure out and open up a process for other homeowners who have slabs that need repairing to give us their name and address, have our people check it out, and then open that up to bid and see what we can do for them.
Council President, you would need to do that as a separate bid because you already put the specifications in this bid. If that's something that you're interested in doing, we certainly can look into it, but this bid kind of stands on its own because we had to name all of the different intersections. We will have to go ahead and get 2 more quotes because it is above the $6,000 threshold. If that's your desire to move forward and try to get it done as quickly as possible, I'll instruct our Public Works Director to get us 2 more quotes, and then we can go ahead and act on it. I can act on that because it's under the 17.5.
Do you need a motion? Do you need a motion to do that? I would support that motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? It's unanimous. Okay, our next item is.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I was just wondering if since it was storm damage, is there any way to see if there's a grant to get anything repaired with that?
Councilwoman, what typically happens is in a named storm, usually the president will declare, and the president and the governor will declare a state of an emergency, and then FEMA will come in and fund it. With all going on in the world these days, it is unlikely that that will happen. I did ask the Public Works Director if he has heard anything regarding that particular topic, and the answer to that is no. Both of us are of the feeling that we're not going to see any money for this storm.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know if this would be a reimbursable item because it's residential sidewalks.
I think they did it in Sandy, though, Tom. They did do it in Sandy on the residential sidewalks. I know because I had a gazillion of them that I did in my other town, believe it or not. I don't know if there was a special caveat or what the reasoning was or how or whatever, but they did go ahead and reimburse it back then.
Okay. So without objection, we'll move to 14B, waive police outside duty rate for resident. Would any member of council like to discuss and debate this issue?
This is the Kinderkamak house that we're talking about.
749 Kinderkamak Road.
I mean, I think when you're dealing with Kinderkamak being the street that it is and the requirement of having the police officer there that we don't have in other streets, I think it would be only fair to the homeowner to waive the outside duty rate.
I would agree with the council president. I think on Kinderkamak, since it is a county road and since if you're doing construction on one of our interior streets, you would not be burdened with that responsibility of outside police duty, that we might consider for only the residential properties that we waive the administrative fee to some degree, and each council can decide to what degree depending on the situation. Mr. Porio, could you just speak to resolution 20-223 if the council is so inclined? That would be the resolution that you have prepared for us to move forward with.
Yeah, Mayor, not sure where you guys wanted to head with this situation. We prepared a resolution and I sent on to the clerk, to yourself, and to the council president for council consideration. Should you go ahead and decide to waive the fees or waive the administration component of the fees. And if you wish, Tom can certainly guide you on the procedural aspect, but you have it available to you should you choose to move forward with.
Mr. Sarlo, this wasn't released to the public. This is a walk-in. Would it be in order for this meeting if the council chose to do it? You are muted. Mr. Sarlo, you are muted.
All right. You can add it on as an add-on resolution.
All right. So is there any other debate, discussion, or inquiry? Council President Kanigo, I'm going to read the resolution. I'm going to ask you to move it, and then one other member of council, if they so choose to, the second, and then we'll call a roll call.
You need you first need a motion to add the resolution to the agenda as resolution number whatever, and then you could vote to approve it.
Okay. Could I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed or abstain? All right, Mr. Sarlo, should I read the resolution now? I think it's frozen.
Yes.
Yes, you're reading it to the record, Mayor.
Okay, reading it into record. Borough of River Edge Resolution 20-223. Approval to waive a portion of the police outside duty rate for Kathleen Collins, resident at 749 Kinderkamak Road, River Edge, New Jersey. Whereas Kathleen Collins had received notice from the Code Enforcement Department of a sidewalk hazard in front of her home, and whereas at a request of the contractor, a police officer was requested for traffic duty during the repair replacement due to the location of the sidewalk, and whereas Kathleen Collins has made an appeal to the mayor and council to waive the administrative fee portion of the $135 per hour and be billed for the officer's overtime rate, and whereas the mayor and council have indicated that the outside duty rate of $135 be waived and the actual overtime rate of the police officer be assigned to that duty, be overtime rate of the police officer assigned to that duty be charged. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the police department and the chief financial officer are instructed to adjust their bill accordingly and notify Kathleen Collins of the fee to be paid for the service provided. So here we have, it says September 8th on the document, but we're going to modify that to September 21st. Could it be moved?
So moved.
Seconded?
Second.
Council President Kanigo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bastide.
Yes, I support the resolution, but could I ask a question?
I apologize. It was then open for debate and discussion. I did not move it that way. Yes, please do. Go ahead.
I support this independent resolution. My question is there going to then be a policy regarding the type of road that we would do this for in the future? Or are we saying we're going to take these one by one if they come before the council? For example, should we say Kinderkamak Road, Midland Avenue, Continental, I don't know, or we just want to, as a council, say we'll address these on an individual basis? We don't have to have that conversation as part of this resolution, but I think we should just think about that from a policy standpoint.
I think that's an excellent point. Any member of council wish to make a comment?
I
think
totally
we-
agree.
I think we should address it on a case-to-case basis.
Okay.
I do feel that we probably, Councilwoman Bastide, maybe will need to discuss the policy moving forward, because dealing with this on one-on-one basis may prove to be burdensome, but that's my opinion as well.
May I make a recommendation that
agree.
Councilwoman Bastide, you raise it as a new business item at our next meeting?
Fine, I'll be happy to.
Okay, returning to the vote, Councilwoman Bastide.
Yes.
Councilman Gaudier.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
All right, that has been approved. The last item on old business is SCORE Senior Bus. Would a member of council wish to address that?
Sure. I'll start with the senior bus first, and Councilwoman Kinsella will speak to SCORE. Through the newly created subcommittee, we've met and spoke, looking into the logistics and the possibility to reactivate the senior bus. So we're looking into that logistics, and when we have more understanding, we'll come back to the council and brief the residents as well. Now, through the freeholders, I've gotten information about available transportation for seniors and disabled residents in River Edge, and gathering that information as of this morning, and we'll be convening with OEM, through whom we will inform and disseminate the information that we are able to gather in regards to whatever limited transportation the county has to offer that we can communicate to the residents of River Edge. If anybody has any questions, but that's something that is a moving item as we speak.
And with regards to SCORE as a whole, myself and Councilwoman Montesano Cohen spoke with Mr. and Mrs. Pima, and we tried to get an idea of what members would be coming back and where they would be coming back to. In regards to where they were coming back to, we spoke with the rec director, Carolyn Danza. I can't say her name. And she let us know that she's willing to work with SCORE and organize some activities outside at Memorial Park in the pavilion, as long as the weather holds up for them right now. And this is yoga or bingo. So she's willing to do that on a short-term basis for them as moving forward right now.
Mayor, I'd also like to add that I spoke to the Public Works Director today. And now that we've agreed to rehire the part-time office clerk whose responsibility it was to organize the senior bus schedule, we feel that it would be appropriate to do a needs assessment through our list of individuals that utilized the senior bus in the past.
I agree. Do we need a motion for that, or is that just informational? I believe it's just informational.
Yeah.
Very good. Any other new business item, old business?
I just want,
Go ahead, Councilwoman, go ahead.
Just wanted to mention, still working on the new website, getting closer to getting it done, and was
Doing a great job.
was contemplating having a new to town page on the community page, and wanted to know if people think that's a good idea and what would be on that new to town page.
I don't know if you're garbled or I just don't understand. what are you saying? On what page?
On the community page on the new website, wondering whether we should have a new to town tab that
You
links
mean
out.
like
new
new residents?
town.
Yes, new to
New
town.
residents
Yes.
of town.
Yes.
Okay.
And do you
Because
think
it sounded
it's a
like
good idea?
nudist town, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm hearing this wrong.
Do you think that's a good idea? And what would you want to see on that page if you were new to town?
So we open it to the floor. Any comments?
I think it's a good idea.
So do I.
As to what, perhaps we can each individually get back to you with some ideas when we've had a little bit of time to think about it.
Okay.
And, you know, putting our heads together, I'm sure we can come up with a bunch of good stuff.
Okay, good. I'll leave it in then.
Mayor, I have one other comment.
Hold on. Council Bastide would be next, and then we'll come to you, Councilman Gaudier. Go ahead, Councilwoman Bastide.
Great. Thank you, Mayor. And forgive me if I mentioned this at the last meeting. They're all blurring together. It may have been at the COVID committee, but the Hackensack Riverkeeper is looking to hold their river cleanup at KBG Park on October 10th. The COVID committee had given its tentative blessing to the event. However, there's the issue of a certificate of insurance, I think it was. Mr. Porio, you might be able to confirm that our risk manager was inquiring about. From what I understand, that's not been requested in the past for the dozen or so years that the Riverkeeper has conducted this event. So I just wanted to raise it here about how the council would like to proceed, because they would like to start advertising for the event. Do we want to require the Hackensack Riverkeeper to provide a certificate of insurance liability and add the borough to that? Ezio thought it could go either way. Since they are doing work on behalf of the borough, he felt we could go either way.
I think if we have them sign the hold harmless agreement, that should be enough.
Okay.
The volunteers.
So in practicality, the individuals would sign the hold harmless, or the Riverkeeper would as the entity?
The individuals.
Okay. And can we get a copy of that, Mr. Porio, so that can be distributed along with their waiver? They would sign it on the day of the event, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'd suggest that hold harmless maybe should have the COVID language also that I think Ezio provided for the volunteers in the library.
And just, I should have mentioned that the Hackensack Riverkeeper has their own waiver that the Mr. Sarlo and Mr. Altamora have looked at, and it also has COVID language, but absolutely whatever the hold harmless that's in place currently is what we would use. So Mr. Porio, can a copy of that be sent to the chair of the Environmental Protection Commission?
Yes,
She
ma'am.
can add that to the day's waivers and items that have to be signed by the volunteers.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. I will let the Environmental Protection Commission know that they can move forward. Thank you very much, everyone. It will be October 10th.
Great.
Oh, nice. October 10th. Councilman Gaudier. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
The time is to be determined by the tides, so we won't know the time of the event until it gets closer. That's it. Thank you very much.
Councilman Gaudier.
Thank you, Mayor. I would just like to mention when we reinstated the liaisons to the different departments, we never reinstated the liaison to the health department. And I was wondering if that would be something we'd be interested in doing.
I think that's
Open
a great
for
idea.
discussion.
It's a great idea, Councilman.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, Councilman Gautier brought it to my attention earlier this week, and I encouraged him to bring it up under new business. I think it would be a great idea, and I'd like to propose that Councilwoman Kinsella take over as the Health Department liaison.
I would second that.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Unanimous. Very good. All right. Any other new business? I have an item, if there is none other from the council.
I I may have a quick item,
Sure, go ahead, Council
Mr.
President.
Mayor. In my walks, I walked by the Pocket Park, the community garden the other day, and I saw Michelle Caridi there. I stopped by to say hello, and she walked me through the Pocket Park. It is still being flooded on a regular basis. The adjoining neighbor is still throwing his tires and some other equipment, which is unsightly, but also these tires gather water. She lifted the tires to show me the water splashing and just a whole host of bugs and mosquitoes shooting out. We need to do something about that. Also, on one of the community groups on Facebook, somebody was talking about the Pocket Park and what can we do with it, and somebody had an idea of possibly exploring the idea of a community garden. So I was wondering if there's something that we can do, perhaps speak with Ms. Caridi and see if something could be done, A, with the community garden. And I know Jason from DPW has been to that Pocket Park a few times, but it really is a beautiful little park and it has some water problems. We should see what we can do to address it. Perhaps it might be as simple as investing a little bit more in some plantings that can absorb some of this water. There are different type of plants that might be tried out. I know that when there's issues down at the shore, they use seagrass to bind things down there so that the earth and such are not washed away by the water, and that's one of the problems that we're having. So maybe we can explore some of those. I brought up some of those ideas to Michelle, and she seemed encouraged and excited by them. So I'm no expert by any means, but I think we need to do something about it. We've invested time, we've invested money. Nobody's invested as much time as Michelle Caridi in taking care of that. And I think it's time that we as a council give her some help.
Well, Council President, could I speak to that briefly? As a subcommittee, we did meet at that park and Cherry Blossom Park. And what we had discussed was to start getting some estimates and some ideas about how to first off fix the drainage issue. And that's where we were on that. It would, if Councilwoman Kinsella or Councilwoman Bastide would like to add.
I was actually going to report on a plan that Carolyn Baldanza had shared with that subcommittee, and she also shared it with the Recreation Committee. So when it comes to council comments, I will speak to that. But what I would add is that one of the items in concert with looking at the drainage issue, and I should have, I'm remiss to bring this up under new business, would be to reignite the conversation regarding the easement with the homeowner so that the borough would have access that it would need that it doesn't currently have. So perhaps Mr. Sarlo and Mr. Porio, we could have a conversation about how to reignite. I think probably Mr. Sarlo, you're familiar with those discussions about an easement with Cherry Blossom Park. But perhaps we can discuss that at a future meeting about how to go about engaging with the resident about the easement. I don't know if Councilwoman Kinsella or Councilman Gautier wanted to add to that.
I just wanted to add that I looked into the Green Acres funding and I contacted someone there, and she responded that at the moment there is no funding available, and the any new applications will be considered in 2021. When in 2021, we don't know, but she said I can email her at any time, which I plan to do because I have a contract number that I can ask her about. But that's all I have at the moment.
Thank you. I apologize. I didn't mean to put anybody on the spot. If I did, I just want to make sure that we're mindful of it. And I know you guys have been doing a great job, so thank you.
Well, I think it's amazing how hardworking this council is and how everyone has pitched in and helped and gets involved. This is not a laid back council. This is not a passive council. This is hardworking, active council. Any other new business item before I raise mine? Okay. There is, Mr. Porio sent me and I haven't had a chance to talk to him, so I don't mean to put Mr. Porio on the spot, but PSE&G is looking to move looking to see if we'd be willing to accept some of their equipment for about 2 months. They have, I think, some COVID concerns, and I had the only location that I thought would work would be down near the KGB field and the swim club. Mr. Porio, could you just introduce the idea to the council so that they could hear a little bit about this so that we can disclose this to them?
Sure, Mayor. Their regional manager touched base with me the other day. They're looking to kind of divide their crews up a little bit during the COVID time. And what they wanted to be able to do was store 10 or 15 pieces of equipment. I sent it out to the COVID committee for their review.
4 backhoes, 4 utility trucks, 4 dump trucks, and some trailers and 2 office trailers, storage trailer, and a bathroom trailer.
Yeah, the thought process was that they could divide up their guys a little bit in order to deal with the COVID. They're looking for approximately 2 months is what he had conveyed to me. I said that this is really more of a council decision, certainly not my decision. They're willing to provide any certificates of insurance and hold harmless and any of those items that we certainly would require of them should it be the council's decision to allow us to move forward.
So I know the COVID committee will probably be discussing this very soon because it's a COVID-related matter, but does any member of the council wish to weigh in or offer comment before the COVID committee considers this?
Can I know I'm on the COVID committee, but could I just raise for the rest
absolutely.
of the council? So I had responded to you, Mayor, earlier today before the meeting.
Yes,
there are sports activities that happen down there currently. I would want to make sure there is still parking available for those activities as well as for the river keeper. The other thing I think that we should consider is that parking lot is in certain states of disrepair. And we have received some complaints about it from the swim club. And I'm concerned that this type of equipment being stored there may add to its deterioration. And that's a consideration that the council should be aware of about any potential repairs as a result of that heavy equipment being there for 2 months' time. So I just put that out there for consideration of the council.
No, I think you make an excellent point. I don't want the council to be mistaken. I'm not endorsing, nor am I trying to deter this, and I don't think Councilwoman Bastide is either. We're simply sharing some information for comment before the COVID committee considers.
So I have a question. Is this a goodwill gesture on the part of town? I mean, and what's the other town that will be hosting the other set of equipment? Just out of curiosity for my own edification.
He didn't get any specifics of how he's dividing it up. He was more specifically asking if River Edge would be willing to help them out.
Thank you.
Is this equipment that would be moved on and off the premises because they're using it, or is this just a 2 months of storage sitting there?
No, it'd be a working site.
So we have a lot of considerations then with homeowners who live in the area as well, who might be affected by trucks and heavy equipment moving in and out on a daily basis. So we're going to have to think about that as well.
Agree.
Any other comments or inquiry? Okay, so the COVID committee will take a look at this later. I just wanted the council to be aware. Okay, we need to open for public comment. Could I have Council President Kinigo?
Mayor?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to mention one other thing. I would happen to be looking for something else, but I found this. There's at bergencountycares.org, there is a small business grant program that the small businesses in town can apply for. And it ends, I believe, October 5th, but don't quote me on that. And Councilwoman Kaufman we'll be posting it on the website for all the small businesses to go to apply for it.
Outstanding. Thank you. Any other? All right. We'll now open for public comment. Any public comment whatsoever. Could Council President Kanigo and Councilwoman Bastide move in second?
So moved.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're open to the public. I surrender to the meeting to Councilwoman McCaulfield.
So any questions, once again, type them in the chat box or raise your hand and I will allow you to speak.
All right, I have 5% of power left on my device, so unless you see something, we're gonna move along.
We can move it along.
Good. Could I have Councilman Gaudier move and Councilwoman Kaufman second to close the public?
So moved.
Second.
If for any reason I should fall off, Council President Kinigo would close the meeting. All right, council comments. Councilwoman Kinsella, we'll start with you.
I'd like to congratulate the championship team there who showed up and won it for River Edge. Congrats to the boys or the young men. Sorry, Council President Kanigo, the young men. Second, I'm looking forward to my new liaison position and learning a little bit more about that. And just to take a moment, as you mentioned earlier, in the beginning of the meeting, to acknowledge the passing of Justice Ginsburg. She was a champion of equal rights and women's rights, and her voice on the court will be greatly missed. Thank you.
Councilwoman Montesano-Cohen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to congratulate the Little League winners for their job. Well done. COVID fatigue is real, but I think wearing our mask and practicing social distancing work, and urge everyone to continue doing so. And I echo Councilwoman Kinsella's sentiments on Justice Ginsburg's, and may she rest in power and in peace.
Councilman Gaudier.
Thank you, Mayor. I echo Councilwoman Kinsella and Councilwoman Montesano-Cohen's sentiments about Justice Ginsburg, and I also would like to congratulate the Little League U10 championship team. Thank you.
Councilwoman Kaufman.
Congrats to the U10 team, and also just echoing the comments of the others regarding Judge Ginsburg.
Good. Councilwoman Bastide.
Thank you. Some updates from the Recreation Committee and the Cultural Affairs Committee. So sadly, I think everyone knows that River Edge Day will not happen in person this year due to COVID. We're all sad about that. The Recreation Commission, under the leadership of Carolyn Beldanza, will be putting together a River Edge book. It's untitled at this point. They're going to give every business in town the opportunity to put in a free ad, and that book will be distributed to all of the residents as an effort to try to replicate what's going to be missing at River Edge Day, is bringing the residents to the businesses. So I think that's a great effort. The Cultural Affairs Committee will be hosting its first ever restaurant week in River Edge to try to support our local restaurants. It will be the week of October 18th, and more will be coming about that event, as well as some other things in place of River Edge Day. Everyone knows that Brookside Park courts are open and back in business, and I can tell you that they are being used nonstop, which is excellent. I can report that the courts at Memorial Park should be done the end of this week, early next week. Mr. Porio, correct me if I'm wrong. So we're really excited to have these great recreation improvements come to fruition. Just a brief word, I know we're going to lose the mayor any second, but a brief word about Cherry Blossom Park. As Councilman Gaudier and Councilwoman Kinsella have said, the subcommittee did meet down at the site with Carolyn Beldanza and a representative from the Recreation Commission. They are currently working on a concept for the park, which would be the front half of the park would remain as a quiet, reflective place with lots of beautiful plantings and flowers. the middle section of the park, maybe some type of, I'm going to call it performance space, whether there be some built-in seating or what have you, opportunity to do programming at that park, performance space, and possibly the school to use it. And in the back area where there was a tree farm, they're looking at make it more of active recreation. The idea of the community garden was talked about, but we do have community garden space that the Riverdale Middle School has been good enough to share with us. So any ideas for community garden, there is a space to utilize. So as the commission flushes these plans out, they will continue to be brought to the council. And I will just close congratulating the U10 team. And I'd just like to, in memory of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Justice of the Supreme Court, I would just like to leave you with a quote that I try to remember. And I know all of my council colleagues feel the same. We fight for the things you care about, but you do it in a way that will lead others to join you. Thank you, Mayor.
Welcome. Council President.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll keep it brief. Congratulations to the Little League. As I said, you make River Edge proud. I echo everybody's sentiments. And a happy though belated Rosh Hashanah to all our Jewish brothers and sisters. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, real quick, I'd like to thank Mr. Dick Barry, who organized the 9/11 event. I'd like the families of those who had passed, as well as the residents, thank them for coming. I'd like to thank our police department for being present, our fire department, our River Edge Volunteer Ambulance Service, our Boy Scouts, our Father Sheehan and Pastor Sweet, and everyone else, and our wonderful singer whose name I am blanking on, for doing an outstanding job with Star Spangled Banner and in the other piece. I'd like to also, we received a letter from a Mr. Artie Motoram from Franklin Lakes. His ex-wife lives in River Edge, and recently she called around 1 a.m. telling him that she was having a hard time breathing. She was having an anxiety attack. Her blood pressure was too high. He called 911 and reported the situation. Then he came down to River Edge to check on her. Officer Varecchia and Officer Goez were at her apartment. The officers talked with her and they were able to comfort her and calm her down. And not only was he concerned about her well-being, but also about their 2-year-old son was staying with her. At times like this, he says, the work and dedication of the men and women in blue goes unnoticed. I think it's important to show people to show their support and gratitude to our police department around the country. Please thank them for me and thank you for having a great police department. And then he gave a token, he gave a gift card to the police department, which I think goes to the PBA. I concur, we have an outstanding police department. They are always there whenever there's an emergency call, and we thank them and we're proud of them. I concur with the loss that our country has experienced in the passing of our Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and I might add that I pray for our country as we move forward, that it might find some unity and less divisiveness. Having said that, could I have a motion to close the meeting?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Our meeting is closed. Thank you all, and I made it.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
everyone.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.